Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Namaskar dear students, I am Dr. Himanshu Patel, working as an assistant professor in School of Computer Science of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, and I welcome you all on this course on cross-platform application development using Flutter. In this video, we will walk you through a simple practical Flutter app which displays a product list interface that loads image from assets and display a list of product with a functional add to cart button. Now let's start with the structure of our code. On screen you can see app. So here you can see I want to display this product list, and whenever I click on this add to cart, it displays item added to cart. So let us try to understand how to create this beautiful user interface using Visual Studio Code. So these are the images that I have already put inside my assets image folder that you can see here. So inside assets you can find these images I1, I2, I3 and I5. So these are the images that I have placed inside these assets images folder like previous example, and you have to also register these images inside your pubspecs.yml file. So here is my pubspecs.yml file, and here you can see I have registered that images. So inside Flutter section you have to write down assets, and inside that you have to give exit 2 spaces, then dash, and after 1 space you have to specify path. Now remember, you should not start here with slash. So we begin with importing the Flutter material package, which give us access to all the widgets needed to build beautiful material design app. So very first statement is import statement, which imports material.dart file into our program. Then second is the main function. Main function is the entry point of our application. It runs product list app, which is the root widget. So entire this is a product list app. We must define that class product list app which extends stateless widget, because here we just display snack bar. UI is not changed, so that's why we have used stateless widget. So product list app is a stateless widgets. Inside it we define this build method. Build method is responsible for return your widget composition or widget hierarchy. Inside material app we specify title product list. Now this home screen is set to product list page. Also here you can see we have disabled the debug banner. So you cannot see debug banner here, which is generally displayed by default. So we have also debug show check mod banner set to false. This product list page is on home screen. So let us understand this class product list page, which is a again stateless widget. We have write class product list app which extends stateless widgets, and inside that I have defined one list. Now let's look at the product list page where real user interface happens. Now this user interface is generated by this product list page, which is displayed inside product list app as a home screen. Here you can see, if you follow mouse pointer, here we have defined a list of product, each having name, price and image path. So this is a list which maps string, its name is a product, and into square bracket we have to specify each list item represented by curly brackets. So opening and closing curly bracket represent one item. The first item is wireless headphone. Its price is rupees 2499 and it's represented these image from assets folder. These represent first item. Similarly, we have defined 3 more items that you can see on the screen, and we know that these images are stored locally. Images folder inside assets folder. This is our constructor. Now let us understand build method. Inside build method, we return scaffold wicket. It contains app bar. Now inside app bar, we have specified title and then text, which is a product list that you can see here. Inside body, I want to display list view builder. So list view builder dynamically creates card for each product. These are cards. And since we have 4 entry in this list, it will create 4 cards. So here I write down list view dot builder, and inside that first we have to specify how many items we want to display, which is represented by item count. This product is a list which is dynamic. Here I write down products dot length. So there are 4 products, so it returns 4. So item count is 4. Then we have to create item builder for each item. So inside that we have to specify context and index. Now here I write down one variable product. It represents product with specific index. Initially it is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. It will get each product by index, and for each product we want to create card. Now we have already learned how to create card. Here I down return card. Now we here specify margin 10 pixels, you can see here. Then we create child for this card as a list tile, and that leading part represent our image. Inside leading I specify size box, and its size is 50 pixel height and width, and for that size box I can define child which represent this image. So here I specify child and then called image.asset method to load that image. When I write down product and in single quotes image in square bracket, now what does it represent is it fetch these image value, which is asset/image/i5.jpg. So using product image I can fetch these paths. So load image from assets folder, and then we want to display these text. So inside size box I have display these image, and then I want to display title, which is a text which specifies product name. So again for first item it is a wireless headphone. Product name represent that name. So it is a dynamically fetch from the products list, and inside subtitle I want to display price, which is fetch using dollar and then product price. So this will fetch product price, and here I display rupee symbol. You can also write down like this. Now suppose I rebuild this, it will display RS. So here you can see now my user interface updated and it shows rupees. So either you can write down rupees, or if you have rupee symbol you can paste over here. Now again I am reloading this. Now it displays rupees symbol. This is how you can define subtype. This is a leading, this is a list tile, and this is a trailing path. So inside trailing I want to display elevated button. So here I write down elevated button, and when this button is pressed, what we want to do is we want to display item added to cart. Inside elevated button we have to specify 2 things. One is on press method, which displays snack bar that shows item added to cart, that we have already know how to do that. And inside child we have to specify text that we want to display in elevated button. So here it is a add to cart. Inside child I display text which displays add to cart. Now this code is complete. Now here you can see each card contains list tile. On left we display product image using image.asset. Now make sure the path matches your pubspecs.yml declaration, and the title shows product name, and subtitle displays price formatted with the rupee symbol, and this last is a trailing part. On the right side we have elevated button labeled as a add to cart. When pressed, it shows a snack bar at the bottom to confirm the action that you can see on the screen. Now whenever you put file inside these assets/images folder, and whenever you make changes in this pubspecs.yml file, you must run flutter pubget and restart your app. So remember to run flutter pubget after making changes into pubspecs.yml file. So now you learn how to make a working product list user interface in Flutter, complete with local images, styling and interactive feedback like this. Thanks for watching. So I hope you enjoy this demonstration. Welcome back. In this video demonstration, we will walk through a simple but complete login screen application built using Flutter. You will learn how to use forms, text fields, navigation and validate user credential with hard-coded values. So let's dive in right now. I want to show you this application running in emulator. So press Ctrl+Shift+P and launch emulator. So my emulator is launched, that you can see on the screen. So my emulator is starting. This is our user interface. In app bar we display text login. Here we have lock icon and it has a two text field which is called text form field to capture email and password from user, and here is a elevated button called login, and below that there is a forgot password. So suppose I am clicking on login button, it will validate email as well as password. If it is blank, then it will ask you to enter email and password. Suppose I enter username and password, and then if this email and password is not correct, then it displays in a snack bar invalid email or password. And if everything is okay, my password is also correct, my username is correct, which is a hard coded. In this case, if both username and passwords are correct, then when we click login button, it will redirect me to next screen, which is a home screen, and here you can see message welcome admin at example.com, which is username. So it displays dynamic text which is welcome username, and in home screen in title we write down home, and this is called action. So here I display logout icon, and when user clicks on this logout icon, it will redirect me to login screen and it safely log out user. Let us understand this interface with code. So friends, the very first statement we write down is import statement, which is package :flutter/material dart, which imports Flutter material package for different user interface component. Now this main function is our entry point as we know, and inside that I specify run app function and I provide login app, which is a stateless widget as a home screen. Now let us understand definition of login app. So login app is a class which extends stateless widget. So here you can see it is a stateless widget. This is my constructor. So second line inside class is a constructor, and then we define build method. So inside build I write down return material app with title login screen, and in home screen we specify starting screen, which is a login screen that you can see behind me in a emulator. So this entire area is my login screen, which is again a stateless widget. So here I write down debug show check mode banner to false. So in top right corner of emulator, we see that there is no debug banner. If this line is not written, it shows debug banner on top right corner of the app. Now let us understand this login screen. So login screen is again stateless widgets because it does not make any changes to user interface, but it redirects us to next screen, which is a home screen if user credentials are correct. Before going to home screen, we generally validate our data. So for that, you need to declare one variable called form. Now here I write down underscore before form key. So what does this underscore specifies? It specifies that this variable form key is local to this Dart file. So it is initialized to global key of type form state. Now these help us to validate these form data. And we know that to get text from input field, we require text editing controller. So here we define two editing controller. One is email controller to read email from text field, and password controller to read password from password field. These are controllers to retrieve text from the input. Next, we write down constructor, and this build method will display this user interface. So here I write down return scaffold. Inside that we specify app bar. So inside app bar we specify title to text login, that you can see here. Here title is login. So if you change this to login demo and hot reload our code, it will be changed. So this is how you can verify. Now next part is body. So here you can see this is my interface, which is placed inside this widget called single child scroll view. Now this is important when screen size is small. So it makes the screen scrollable in case your screen size is small. So it is very important on small screen. So you should use single child scroll view when your input data is large and screen size is small. After that we specify padding. So here you can see the space between text field and border. So this is specified using this ageinset.all method, which sets this space to 20 pixels from all the sides. Then we define child form. Form is an important control. It wraps the input field to enable validation. So whatever control that you place inside form, you can validate using form key. So here inside key we have to specify form key so that we can validate our input, and inside that we specify column to arrange all these in a vertical manner in center of screen. So inside column I specify children, and first I specify size box with height 50. So here you can see that 50 pixel space is left before rendering other control. Then there is an icon called lock. So this is a inbuilt icon called lock. Using icon we can display icon. These represent my lock icon and its size is 100 pixel. So you can see this is a large icon. So its size is set to 100 pixel and its color is set to teal. Next, again there is a space between lock icon and text field. So we have used size box with height 20 here. And then we have two text form field. Now we have used text field, but here we have used text form field. Text form field is nothing but a special kind of input field that can be validated. So inside controller we specify email controller that we have already defined at the top, and this decoration part is required to provide label text, prefix icon and border. Inside input decoration I specify label text is email. So you can see it displays email when it is empty, and when I start typing it shows on top that name. So this is called label text, and there is a prefix icon. So before input we want to display this icon, which is a email icon. So here in prefix icon I write down icon, and inside that we provide constant value which is icons.email, which represents this icon. And using border you can specify this outer border. Here you can see this is my border. Using border, online input border, we can provide outline box. So we have provided controller, we have provided decoration. Now the next important part is a validator. Inside validator you have to define function to handle your input. Here I define these functions. So these value represent value of our text form field, and now what we want to do, it should not be empty or it should not be null. So inside validator function we write down if value equals null, this is OR operator. If value is empty, then we must display please enter your email. Suppose I press this login, it displays please enter your email. This is a true. Since value is not provided, it displays please enter your email, and otherwise we should return null. So this is how you can validate for empty string. So this text form field validation part is over. Next, there is a space between these two text field. So again we specify size box with height 20 pixel, and next is a password input field. So this text form field is a password input field. So here same way we have specified controller, but this is new, obscure text. So if obscure text is set to true, it hides my input. So whatever I type you cannot see on screen. That is why we have used obscure text is equal to true. Then there is a again input decoration to set label text to password, prefix icon to lock. Here you can see lock icon, and border is set to outline input border like previous text form field. And inside validator we write down same logic. If value equals null or value is empty, we must display message, please enter your password, otherwise we have to return null. This is how we validate these two text form field for null value. Next, if these values are not, what to do? When this login button is pressed, we must validate these two values to some value predefined or fetch from database. Right now, we have used predefined username and password to validate, but later on, we will fetch this data from database as well. So next is the elevated button. Inside elevated button, we have to specify on pressed method. When this login button is pressed, this on pressed method is fired. First, we have to validate form field. So here I write down method of form key current state not dot validate. It will check whether data is valid using that validate function. If it is valid, then it returns true. Here we have used hard-coded valid credential, valid email represent my email address and valid password represent my valid password. We match these value returned from text form field to this predefined value which may be fetched from database in later exercises. Next we have to check credential. So here I write down mail controller.text which is our text editing controller, which returns text written inside this email text form field. If it is equal to our valid email and value returned by password controller is equal to a valid password, then what we have to do is we want to navigate to the home screen. So here if this condition is true, we navigate to home screen. Here I write down navigator.push replacement, and inside it the first argument is context and second argument is material page root, and inside that we must return new context using builder. So we have already used builder. So inside builder we specify home screen and pass email value of our text field, and if our credentials are wrong, then we will display message using snack bar that invalid email or password. Now we already learned how to display snack bar. Here snack bar show error message using snack bar if credentials are wrong. Then we have set text of button to login. So here you can see my button text is login. Next again is a size box. This is a text button. So what is difference between elevated button and text button? You can see elevated button is a button with circular shape and button like shape, while text button is just in form of text. So directly implement logic of forgot password, we use text button. But right now we have not implemented that functionality. You can implement this functionality when you learn in a detail. Here we left it blank. You can implement password reset functionality here, and its child is set to forgot password. This is all about login screen. Next, we must understand home screen. I am providing correct credential and redirect to my home screen. So here you can see home screen, which is nothing but a stateless widget, and here these email represent value to be displayed in a string after welcome, and these string come from our previous screen. So this is my constructor. Here I must have email. So I have used required parameter. So here I write down required this dot email. It means we must pass email in a constructor of home screen that you can see here. So if everything is okay, we will be calling constructor of home screen with email provided as a email controller text. So this is how this home screen will get our email address. Next is a simple widget composition. So here we must override our build method, and inside that I return scaffold. In app bar I set screen home, and this is called action. So inside actions I specify logout button using icon button, which is set to logout. So in actions we specify icon button, which is a icon logout, and inside on press we must log out to previous screen. So in on press we again call navigator.push replacement method, and inside that first argument is context and second argument is page to which we want to return. So inside material page root we have to provide builder, and inside that we must return to login screen page. So when I click on this, it will redirect safely me to login screen, and now you cannot use your back button of phone to move back to welcome screen or home screen. So that is why it is called safe logout. So I hope you understand this code. After this app bar, we must specify our body part, which displays this message. So inside body, we in center we display one child of type text, and here we want to display welcome, comma, and then whatever email we have received from previous screen, it represented by dollar and variable name. So here I write down dollar email. So it replaces these with value represented by that variable. In this case, it is admin@example.com, and its style is set to large font, which is 24, and it is aligned in a horizontal center also. This is how my home screen is constructed. To summarize, in this demonstration, we build a Flutter login app with form validation, input handling, navigation, and basic login logout flow using hard-coded credentials. This structure can be extended further with Firebase or any backend API for real authentication. So I hope you enjoy this demonstration. Happy coding with Flutter. Thank you and happy learning.